Hi, it's Mitch from PickDogs.com, and it's Mitch from PickDogs.com. Saturday, November 5th, 2022, my favorite day of the week during my favorite time of the year, college football Saturday, and it's actually my favorite time of the year during my favorite time of the week during my favorite time of the year. November college football, the best of college football, when the best of the best come out, where championships are decided, where who's going to be in the playoff is decided, and legends are made. And frauds are exposed. We'll see plenty of both over the course of the next few weeks, and plenty of chances for both to happen with the schedules that we have in front of us. Easily the best college football schedule of the year on tap for today. Ron, CFP playoff announced. Any obviously the first four teams that have been announced every single year. It's never been those four teams in the actual playoff. Any of those four you think that should be out? Any of the teams that are out that will probably be in? I mean, obviously Georgia, Tennessee, play each other today.
Yeah. I think the only team I would say should be in and one should be out would be Clemson and Michigan. I would switch around. And I could definitely see Bama or even TCU fighting their way in.
Well, I think the committee's argument here is that you have a Michigan team that hasn't won a national championship since like 1951 or something. They won a split national title in the 90s, but that team chose to play Oregon in the Rose Bowl as opposed to playing Nebraska, who offered to play them on a neutral site to decide the national championship. Michigan went to the Rose Bowl, played a 6-5 Oregon team, and Nebraska went to Miami and beat Warren Sapp and Ray Lewis for the national title. I think I think you have to look at, the head coaches at this time of year, and you have to say, well, Dabo Swinney's beaten Nick Saban twice head to head in national championship games, and Jim Harbaugh's won absolutely nothing. So
yeah,
I think,
that's history.
But we saw Michigan in the playoff last year for the first time, and they got whitewashed. We've seen Clemson in the playoff, and they've won more playoff games than anybody else. So we have just a different, this is what the committee has to work with. This is the body of work. It's not just who you've played this season. It is, and Clemson is undefeated as well. And it's Clemson. They're loaded. They bruise teams. It'll all play out over the next month or so. Michigan will play Ohio State, and the winner of that will likely be in if they win the Big Ten championship. Clemson will likely be in as well. So we'll probably see those two guys go head to head. Chris, happy Saturday. What are you looking at today? Hockey, you got NBA, you got NHL, you got World Series, you got pretty much everything.
It's the sports equinox. I wish college basketball had already started by now, but we've still got a couple days for that. But I'm just looked at college football and a little bit of NHL today. Wanted to just sit back and enjoy the World Series game as a fan, and didn't like the NBA card today, so just left that one alone. But lots of college football that I love today.
Jay Briggs, what's happening? Got the rundown or the jam session up and running again. Super popular edition here at Pick Dogs. How's it going with the hoops? And you're still up there on the leaderboard. I see not number one anymore, but still there. It's definitely a marathon, not a sprint.
For sure, like you said, marathon, not a sprint. Rough night last night. We had a couple games in the end go the other way. Teams won, didn't cover. That's the nature of the beast, though. Decent card in the NBA today. I think I'm gonna have 3 up there. I still got to add one more, I believe. College football, I got 3 today. I like the college football card. Like you said, I think it's the best one. Y'all know I'm an advocate for my Texas teams. TCU definitely should be in the top 4. Undefeated.
And who should be out?
Clemson. Look at who TCU has played and look at who Clemson has played. TCU's schedule is the gauntlet, and they've gone through it undefeated. And
not really.
I think they deserve the nod.
Who's the gauntlet? I mean, who have they beaten?
All right, let's go through. They've beaten ranked teams in they've beaten Kansas
but the
State,
rankings,
Oklahoma State,
but
Kansas,
Texas A&M.
Oklahoma.
When we look at rankings, okay, which is garbage, okay, Texas A&M and Notre Dame both started the season ranked in the top 10. Notre Dame got waxed at home by Marshall and Stanford. Okay, Texas A&M is a losing team, 3-5 on the season. They were ranked 8th. So rankings mean nothing, and it's like what we've seen from Clemson is methodical beatdowns week after week after week, physical beatings of teams saying the next week that they're still hurting after playing these guys.
I
They
just
have a
think they got
national
Clemson.
championship defense.
They have Clemson up there because of pedigree, not because of this season, and I kind of don't like that.
Well, yeah. I think the Clemson argument is the same argument we always had in Miami. We gladly invite you to come look at our trophy case and state your case. You know, we gladly invite you to come down and take a look at our trophy case and see what you have to say for yourself, because TCU has not proven that they can get it done. They may have their opportunity. They may not. I believe if they run the table, they should be in.
I believe so too. They got to run the table, and they got
to run the table
today.
Got to run the tail. Plus, they'll have a championship game as well. Al Ninos, it's happening.
Oh, pretty good. How you doing, Mitch?
Good. What are you looking at today?
The way I always go, a little bit of everything. Went a little bit light, I guess, on the football card. I guess I did leave a couple plays out there. Still have a 3-pack in college football, but I also got a 3-pack in hockey and basketballs and NBA as well. So check those out. Or yeah, I got the World Series as well. So I don't know. Good time for a long-term pass. Got all these sports going on. All right,
John,
for one special.
John, we know you never shy away from mixing it up on the board. Just kind of everything going on here at once. You even go a little further out than most people covering sports like Canadian football and hockey and stuff. The sports that nobody cares about.
Yeah. Today's it's mostly college football for me. I've got 6 plays on the go, 3-0 last night, and those 3 were pretty close. So I was happy to get the 3-0 last night, 53, 32, and 1 on the year. I hope to keep that rolling. I've got some smaller plays I've got 2 NBA plays, 1 NHL, CFL playoffs go tomorrow. We'll see. I may or may not be involved in those. I pick my spots in sports like that, but this time of year, there's only so many hours in the day to handicap all this. So, with college basketball starting this week as well, it's crazy how much is on the go. So you can't really cover it all, but we do our best.
Well, here's a guy who'll bet on anything. So this is kind of his time of year, Rod. You never have to poke Rod too hard to get him to make his 2-team parlay a 3-teamer. 7-teamer. What are you looking at? For today's action, you got college football.
And today I just stuck with the.
How do you rope it in? I can't.
No baseball. No baseball.
No baseball.
No, I know baseball, and I went with a couple in the World Series, and other than that, I stayed away from this World Series and enjoyed it as a fan.
All right.
And I'll do the same thing today. I think Houston finishes it off, and Dusty Baker gets his championship. That's what I'm cheering for. So,
well, we'll be tailgating for that USC.
I've got college football today and hockey.
Well,
and lots of hockey. And Clemson versus TCU. Ooh, it wouldn't even be. It would be a beatdown.
I don't even think it would be close.
That TCU defense is. I don't even think it would be close. The Clemson defense is lights out better compared to
knock them cold.
TCU. Not even close.
Knock them cold.
They'd have to throw in the towel is what would happen there. It would be ugly.
Dabo Swinney this week has been all over the press saying this is championship time. This is November. This is statement time. We've pointed our whole season towards this game. It's like, man, he is laser focused. Plus, he's got the hardware to prove that he can always back it up. Big Al, it's that time of year. I know that you generally don't look at the any of that stuff. You only go by the trends. Do you go off course here at all? Because there's so many trends with, Clemson, like, the Clemson Notre Dame game where Notre Dame has this amazing streak against the ACC, but so does Clemson. And, and Clemson also has this, after 6 games into the season under Dabo Swinney has like a ridiculous cover percentage. Like it's got to be like in the 90s. It's got to be, right?
Well, it's a lot of things to look at. I mean, today I've got 20 plays, so I've got 17 in college football, including my conference underdog game of the year, and I've got 1 in baseball, my first play in the World Series so far. And then I've got 1 play in the NBA that's really strong, and then 1 play in hockey. So, as long as I don't go 0-20, I'll be happy.
There's going to be some, to me, it's like we get to this time of year and there's always a few coaching clinics out there. And then there's always a few nail biters, that you don't expect. And it's like, it's November college football. This is when the champions are made. This is when the legends are made. And this is when, the frauds are exposed. Kind of like we said, we'll find out on the field today. I love college football. I love this time of year.
And sometimes you're not a fraud, but you just lose.
Oh yeah. I mean, but I think like when you see a game, like, all right, so you have Kirby Smart versus Josh Heupel in between the hedges today in Athens, right? So Kirby Smart has a national championship trophy, right? He won the trophy. He beat Nick Saban in the national title game. He's been in 2 national title games in a very short span as a head coach. He has a loaded number 1 ranked recruiting class roster. Will Josh Heupel in this run and gun offense, will they be exposed for what they are? A team that they can score a ton of points, but are they the Don Coryell Chargers? Then you have Brian Kelly against Nick Saban, right, in LSU, Alabama, which is just ridiculous. And then you have Dabo Swinney, who is being disrespected. You hear it across the board here, right? And it's not just these guys. It's everybody saying this about Clemson. Okay, this guy's saying, "Oh yeah, look at my trophy case and tell me that." And then he comes out in the press and says, "This is when championships are won. This is when we built our entire existence around this month. And this is where we come out and make our statement." And he's up against Marcus Freeman, who, in all fairness, took over, a team where guys were transferring out. But you got big home losses to Marshall and Stanford, and you're up against a wrecking crew here. It's like he's going to need a little bit more than luck of the Irish in this one. It's because the thing about Clemson in this thing, and I believe Clemson's the best bet on the board today. By the way, I think that when you look at Clemson all season long. Okay, all season long, not just one game and a matchup and a trend or any of this thing. When you've watched them week after week after week, when they never have stopped playing for 1 second. Dabo Swinney has not worked the other team for their timeouts. He has not done any of those things. He has continued to play and play and play and play down to the final minute of every single game. And if this thing is a 3-point game and it's a 4-point spread or whatever, he's going to score the touchdown. You do not have to worry about it because he's done it in every single game so far this season, and he's taken some criticism about it, running up the score in the red bandana game at Boston College. They accused him of running up the score against Georgia Tech. He says, we're just playing football. And I don't think Marcus Freeman, who couldn't stop Marshall's, got a lot of answers today, and you couldn't stop, and Stanford runs all over you. You're in big, big trouble with these guys coming to town. Big trouble. Anyways, we'll see what happens. I've been wrong before. But I think that's the best bet of the day. It's Clemson. Anyways, go to
my best bet today is
Notre Dame.
No. My best bet today is a team that nobody's even thinking about. So that's my best bet. One of the little schools.
One of the little schools. Romanelli's thinking about it.
Yeah. Ron and I share a lot of thoughts together.
All right. Let's get to, we got Air Force and Army kicking things off. Northwestern, Ohio State. This is another team looking to make the playoff. Has to, we saw what Northwestern did against Iowa last week. We got Wisconsin against Maryland. I like Jim Leonard as a head coach. I'm not sure I love him here. Texas A&M, the worst head coach in college football and the most overrated team so far this season, Texas A&M against Florida. We've got Nebraska against Minnesota. We've got Tulsa against Tulane. Virginia against the team I've lost the most money on this season, North Carolina. They are my Philadelphia Phillies of the postseason, is the North Carolina Tar Heels. I've gotten my ass kicked on them. on a consistent basis. We had the Jerry Richardson Stadium for Charlotte, Western Kentucky. I would say it's Western Kentucky money line is a pretty safe bet there, though it's probably about minus 4,000. Purdue against Iowa, Missouri against Kentucky, TCU, the Frogs against Texas Tech. Not as good on the road as they are at home, that's for sure. And Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech. Ron Romanelli, nice slate of openers there.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to take a look at Western Kentucky laying the points at Charlotte. The line opened up, I believe, around 17, 16 and a half. It's now dropped a few points to, I think, 14 and a half or 15 around there. But now I think there's actually some value with WKU. Charlotte's got the worst pass defense and efficiency in the country in FBS football. And although last week was a nice performance by the 49ers, they put up 56 points. And I do think the offense will still score in the 30s here. I just don't think their defense stands a chance against a WKU team coming off a big-time upset loss where they only put up, I think, 10, 13 points. They got blown out to North Texas. It was a homecoming game as well. So you got a frustrated WKU team that loves to throw the football, throw it about 40-plus times a night. They can run the football effectively. I think their offense scores almost every single drive, and it should score a touchdown almost every single drive. And that should be enough to cover the spread in the end. I could see a 50 or 60 points here from WKU. I wouldn't be surprised. So give me the Hilltoppers laying the points. So
you're saying the Jerry Richardson home losing streak is pretty safe today?
I like Club Lit, but it's the Charlotte defense just not good enough.
Chris Ruffalo.
Yeah, I was going to think of it was club something. It's another word that rhymes with lit, though. But I'm going to go with TCU. Thank you. I'm going to go with TCU laying the points against Texas Tech. Like Mitch alluded to, Texas Tech has not been good on the road this season. 0-3 straight up. All three of their losses have come by at least 9 points. And head-to-head with TCU, they've lost the last two meetings Texas Tech has by a combined 37 points. And that's against a TCU offense that hasn't been as explosive as it's been this year. Sonny Dykes has really, put his thumbprint on this TCU program. I think this one's going to be a rough outing for Texas Tech. I think TCU is going to look for some style points to, throw towards the playoff committee. So give me TCU here by double digits.
How about TCU with the style points last week? 30 seconds left to go on the clock, 4th and 3. The other team has no timeouts, and they throw it into the corner of the end zone for a 30-yard touchdown for the cover and the over, all in one. It was, no legal sports betting in Texas, so who knows what's going on over there. Jay Briggs, what's happening?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with Chris. I was going to go there, but I'll go to the other Texas team, Jimbo, and then they get a win at home today against Florida.
You should have just stuck with TCU.
Jimbo and them, they get a win today against Florida. Everybody's selling their stock on A&M. I'll buy it. Gig them. They get a win there today. This Florida team isn't that good. They're 4-4 for a reason as well. They give up 445 yards a game. I know this A&M offense hasn't looked good all season, but today's one of them days. College football is one of those sports where you can't count teams out, and today's going to be a big game for A&M.
Are you worried about them with the flu? I think a lot of the players have the flu. The quarterback might miss the game.
That might help them.
Right. I like A&M still find a way to win today.
They haven't all season, so I don't know. Jimbo Fisher is just very lucky man to have that $86 million buyout looming there. Word has it they were going to gut his entire coaching staff from top to bottom. Al Ninos.
Yeah, kind of like North Carolina here. I think it was 7.5 earlier. I like it a lot better now. It's 7. And I think they win and probably double digits. But, I'd rather have the 7 than the 7.5, obviously. So give me North Carolina here.
They've ripped my guts out all season. John?
Yeah, I'm going to go the other way on that North Carolina. Sorry, am I good now?
You're good.
I'll go Virginia. If there's one thing Virginia does, it's stop the pass. I think they take away the pass here against North Carolina. Coming off a couple of really good defensive showings. UNC not quite as good running the football this year as previous years. I'll grab the points with Virginia.
Rod.
And for me, I like Army here. I think that's too many points. I think it's a close game. Both teams are going to be running the ball in that one. But I like Army at home here. I think they were on the Black Knights. Keep this close. Underdog 6-0 ATS in the last 6 meetings between these two teams. And I think Army comes in, keeps it close. They got a chance to win that one outright. I'll take Army plus the points in that one.
Air Force wins. They get the Commander-in-Chief's trophy today. Now,
I'm going to take a look at the SEC matchup between Kentucky and Missouri. The Wildcats, off that embarrassing performance last week in Knoxville, they lost 44-6 as a 10.5-point dog.
I had Kentucky in that one with Big Al, and I went back and forth on it.
I just think. I mean, I just think Kentucky is in a nice bounce back situation here. You take a look at how winning teams have done in conference games off a conference loss by more than 20 points when their opponent in the current games off a straight up and against spread win. Those teams bounce back. They've gone 192 and 143 ATS off those blowout losses. I'm going to take Kentucky. It's, see it now even +1. I'll take the Wildcats.
All right. I like a lot of the picks that you guys said, believe me or not, in that mix, but I definitely like Florida against Texas A&M. I just think they're a way better team. Texas A&M is one of the worst bottom 5 teams in all of college football this season. Absolutely an embarrassment. And I think, when they got that coaching staff and then all those top-level recruits all leave, which they're leaving anyway, it's just going to leave nothing. I mean, that Jimbo Fisher contract is probably going to put Texas A&M at the bottom of the SEC for the next decade or so. Just probably one of the biggest blunders you'll see in college sports. Most of the time, teams can buy their way out of it, like that Dan Mullen buyout at Florida. That was expensive, but not like this one. But I like Minnesota against Nebraska. I think the Huskers have fought the good fight with Joseph coming in at head coach, but they just don't have the pieces in place. And Minnesota ended that 3-game losing streak, and I think the Flexter rows the boat here. I think they get it done. I'll take Minnesota laying the better than a touchdown here against Big Red. We got Temple against USF, Old Dominion versus Marshall. Got Southern Miss -2.5 against Georgia State. I like Southern Miss in that one. Oklahoma against Baylor. Louisiana Tech against Middle Tennessee. Utah State against New Mexico. Pitt against Syracuse. Memphis against UCF. Indiana versus Penn State. Kansas versus Oklahoma State. Illinois, Michigan State. UAB, UTSA. Iowa State, West Virginia. Colorado, Oregon. 31.5-point spread in that thing. Georgia, Tennessee, between the hedges. Stanford, Washington State, 2 teams, same color, same conference. Ron.
Yeah, I've obviously follow a lot of betting content on social media, TikTok and Twitter, and I see the one big sharp play that everybody's loving on this week is New Mexico plus the points. Because the total's low at 42.5, you're getting 14.5. So people say if it's a low total, low total dogs that are getting double digits are pretty solid. But this is just a spot where New Mexico's offense is one of the worst in FBS. In the last 2 weeks, 138 total yards against Fresno State, 9 points, and 51 passing yards in that one. The week before against New Mexico State, which is a feasible opponent. I mean, that's a rivalry game. They were favored in that game. They put up 269 yards and 9 points again. The offensive line's not holding up. They're getting sacked on 16.8% of their passing plays. They can't run the football, and they turn the ball over a good amount as well. There's just no way I could take them here on the road. Utah State, they've had a lot of issues at quarterback when it comes to injuries and just performance level. Logan Bonner was not the quarterback that everybody expected, including myself, this season. But I still think Utah State's defense is in much better shape than New Mexico's, and I think they score enough here to cover the number in the end. So it could be a 21-0 score, and I wouldn't be fazed by it. So I lean towards the under in Utah State.
Chris.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the under between Illinois and Michigan State. And I just think this could be very similar to what we saw from Michigan State against Michigan last week. And, Illinois, the top scoring defense in the country. I don't expect them to really, blow out Michigan State here. I could easily see a 27-10 kind of win for Illinois here. The line's dropped 2 points. Hasn't dropped far enough for me to even consider the other side. I like the under 41.5 in this one.
Jay Briggs.
I'm going to another Texas team, taking Baylor on the money line. Oklahoma, that Texas game is still fresh in my mind when they got ran out of the building. And I could quite frankly see Baylor doing the same thing. This Oklahoma team, I know they bounced back and won 2 games back-to-back, but the Kansas win is a little overrated. They were without Daniels in that one. ISU, that's a solid win because ISU, their defense is pretty solid. But here today, Baylor's defense is also fairly decent, and I just think they run the football in Oklahoma. I'm taking them on the money line. This is not the same Oklahoma team we've seen in past years. They're 5-3 for a reason. When we typically Oklahoma is a juggernaut around this time. This is not that. So I'm gonna take Baylor here on the money line. I think they go in there and get a win.
Big Al. Al Ninos. Sorry.
Yeah, we was talking about North Carolina. I was on them last week. It was a close game till the very end there, but they sure did run away with it at the very end, and almost went to a Syracuse premium play today. And I like this play quite a bit. I actually have to go double check that I didn't put it in as a premium because I had that all written up and ready to go. But yeah, I'll take the points with Syracuse here. I think they keep it close, and I think they might win this one outright. So you could also put some on the money line as well.
Interesting comments from Dino Babers last week about the condition of his team coming out of the Clemson game too. Sean.
Yeah, I'm going to go Washington State minus the points against Stanford today. Cougars coming off 3 straight losses. They haven't been doing anything offensively, but I think this is the matchup where they kind of get right. Their last 5 against Stanford, they're getting up into the 40s in a lot of those games, and I think they bust out here. You look at Stanford, there are only 2 wins against FBS schools this year. One came against Notre Dame, you mentioned earlier. The other against Arizona State. They had almost 400 total yards in both of those games, and they still scored only 16 and 15 points. I just don't think they have much of a margin for error here, and I think Washington State desperate for a win, and I think they get it here today.
Rod? Rod? You there? Can't hear you. You're muted.
My bad. My bad. I was muted. I agree with Al here. I like Syracuse plus the points. I think I got a good shot to win this outright. You look at Pitt at home, and they haven't been good. 1-5 ATS their last 6 at home. Houston conference games 10-4 ATS their last 14 conference games, and I think Houston with better D here on this one, and I think they got a great shot to win this one outright. I like Syracuse plus the points.
Slovis has a position next to Josh Rosen on Mount Mitchmore. Big Al.
I was just looking up what Ron had talked about a few moments ago about low totals in college football with double-digit numbers. So over the last 10 years, anyway, 102 and 85 with 3 pushes if the line's 45 or less, and the underdogs getting 10 or more. 2 plays today, Michigan State and New Mexico. Anyway, interesting stuff. I'm going to, I don't know which game here. How about the, I don't know. I don't really like a lot of these. Maybe I'll go with Oklahoma. I go against Baylor. Baylor went into Lubbock last week. They upset Texas Tech 45-17, but off that upset win, I think Baylor's in a bad spot here. Baylor historically doesn't do very well on the road, off-road upsets. They've covered just 2 out of their last 12. I'll take Oklahoma.
I take UCF against Memphis. I think that Memphis is a super public dog. Just a lot of people humping up on Memphis in this one, but we've seen Memphis all season long, and they're just not a very good team. I think when you get into November college football, I think I like the physical teams, and UCF just a very, very physical team. I think they bruised Memphis, and I think they get them late here. I think that Memphis might come out pretty hot on offense and get some points on the board. So we might have a good chance to in-game UCF on this thing as well. But I really believe that UCF is just so much the better team in this one that it's really not even a contest. They have physical running backs that could play at any of the other Florida schools very easily at UCF, while Memphis doesn't have anything near that type of talent. I think that, Memphis is okay, but it's like we're talking apples and oranges here. We're talking about a team that's like group of 5, bowl type team versus Liberty Bowl, and that's just the difference of what we have here. I know the home team has won 11 in a row in this series. We've seen a lot of big streaks go down this week, like that Philadelphia 76ers, 18 in a row as favorites against the New York Knicks, outright on the money line, went down last night. I think this 11-game streak goes down here. Taking UCF, I would lay additional points up to a touchdown or more. Go to our next slot. We got North Texas and FIU, Romanelli. He's still, Rod's tailgating for the USC Colorado game next week. Waiting. Georgia Southern, South Alabama, Arkansas, Liberty. Liberty always plays a team in the SEC like that at this time of the season. Seems to always do. Cincinnati against Navy. That's another ridiculous cover streak Navy has. Cincinnati doesn't have in that game. I don't remember which it was. ULL versus Troy. ULM, who doesn't mind us calling them ULM, against Texas State. SMU versus Houston. Boise versus BYU. That one, the trends go against everything I believe in. Got San Diego State against UNLV. LSU, Alabama, Brian Kelly and Nick Saban. Kansas State against Texas. Deuce is loose. Got Vandy against South Carolina in Cashville. We've got Utah versus Arizona. Notre Dame against Clemson. Not sure who I'm taking in that one yet. Rutgers against Michigan. Louisville versus JMU. Miami, Florida State. Mississippi State, Auburn. NC State, Wake. USC, Cal. San Jose State, Colorado State. Arizona State, UCLA. And Fresno, Hawaii. Ron, a lot of football there.
Yeah, you should let us do 2 games if we'd like.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, do 2.
But I'm just gonna take 1.
No, go ahead. Do 2. No, I mean I actually covered 2 times. Do 2. Be my guest. I got it. All right, here we'll give you, and also tell us what you have for sale at Pick Dogs.
Okay. Yep. Okay. I'm going to take Rutgers plus the points. I think it's important to note last year, I just talked about how Michigan should be in the top 4, but I think it's important to note last year, Rutgers actually outgained Michigan in that 20-13 loss, 352-275. Their defense really showed up, and their defense has been fantastic this season in terms of just yards allowed, but they forced a good amount of turnovers. They're great against the run, and we saw Michigan last week. They had a lot of field goal attempts. They struggled in the red zone. That's more than enough. When you're getting 26 points, a couple of forced field goals is more than enough for a cover in the end. I don't think Rutgers does anything offensively, but I don't know if it needs to do anything to cover this large number. Michigan struggled to cover these numbers. We saw last week against Michigan State. They basically dominated that game and still didn't cover the number in the end. So I'll take the points with Rutgers, and then I'm going to look at the game between Navy and Cincinnati. I was going back and forth in this one throughout the week, but I really think that if Navy's going to cover this number, it's going to be an upset alert kind of game. I wouldn't be surprised if they won it outright if they were going to cover the number. But to me, this is a blowout more often than not. I think Cincinnati's good enough against the run. Last week, they struggled against UCF, that's for sure. But UCF is a lot better, I think, in terms of just running the football than Navy. The triple option, just not that effective this season, in my opinion. And, Cincinnati's offense, I do believe, will be able to expose the Navy secondary. I think they'll be able to go over the top. Ben Bryant has some decision-making issues, but I think he's still talented enough to take over and take down this Navy defense, which I don't think is very good against the pass this year. So I'll lay the points with Cincinnati. I'll take the points with Rutgers. And as far as what I've got at Pick Dogs Premium, I got 12 college football plays, an NHL play, and an MLB play. So 14 picks in total. You can grab a long-term plan. I've got different 3-packs and single plays up for sale as well. But check out what I got at Pick Dogs Premium.
I like that Rutgers play. Chris.
Yeah, I like. I'm going to be on the other side in that Navy-Cincinnati game. I like Navy. I like what they're doing. Obviously they're QB1 out for the season, but this is a Navy team that usually runs 2 quarterbacks in practice, anyways. and splits all the starter reps. So the backup coming in, he's going to have plenty of experience. And I think, a lot of people should live it in the past with this Cincinnati team, going off of last year. And this Navy team hung around with last year's Cincinnati team that, remember, crashed the college football playoff and only lost that game by 7 points. I think Navy, I think Ron's right. I think Navy has a definite shot to pull off the upset here. I'm taking, points with Cincinnati, with Navy against Cincinnati in this one. And the other one I like Boise State laying the points against BYU. This BYU pass defense is in shambles. Boise State's really looked like a different team since Taylor Green took over at quarterback. I just want no part of BYU right now, so I'll lay the points with Boise State in a double-digit beatdown. And for what I have for sale today, I got my $15 platinum play of the month for college football. Check that out. You still got time. It's one of the early games, so you're going to want to get on board with that. I also got 12 college football plays total on my premium side today, as well as some NHL plays as well. There's tons of packages up there, but make sure you if you want the best value, go long term. And remember to use that promo code PICK to get 15% off, $25 or more.
Jake.
Yeah, man. For my first one, I'm gonna look at James Madison in Louisville. I'm gonna take a shot here with James Madison. I think that they've had this one circled on their schedule all season. This was their big game of the year, really, when you go look at their schedule. And I think they keep it pretty competitive here today. I know they dropped their last 2 games against Marshall and against Georgia Southern. But I just think it's a good spot here for them here today. They're going to come in here. They're going to play solid defense. They're going to run the football. They're going to throw the football pretty effectively as well. Louisville, we've seen them in some of these games, especially games like Boston College, where they just kind of look flat. And I think this could be one of the games, man, right here, where they kind of overlooked this James Madison team a little bit. James Madison keeps this game pretty close. So I like James Madison plus the points in that one. And then for my second one, I'll go to Kansas State. And I'll lay the points with Texas. Come on now. Y'all know what it is. Texas going into there, man. Texas always beats up on Kansas State. It's just what they do. I know Texas lost last week to Oklahoma State, but this is still a good Texas team. This is one of the better teams that I've seen watching. And I think 2 of the games would have went the other way had we had our quarterback in there. Kansas State has looked good in their last few games. I can't deny that, especially just airing out Oklahoma State like they did. But I don't know. I think Texas just has their number, and I like them to go in there and lay the points as well against Kansas State. I know everybody's humping up on Kansas State today, and I'm going to lay the points with Texas. I know Mitch isn't going to like that. Sarkisian is overrated in his eyes. Big win today for Texas. Give me the Longhorns. For sale today, I got 4 college football, 3 in the NBA. I still got to add 1 up there, so I'm going to have those in the 3-pack. I'm watching the MLB as a fan. Astros win it tonight, though, I believe. That's all I got for sale at Pick Dogs today. NFL tomorrow. Hop on a long-term pass. Best way to go.
Yeah, Jay, your quarterback on the road was 19 of 49 with 3 interceptions last week. Anyways, we go to Al Ninos.
Yeah, here's another play I liked almost as much as my Syracuse play. A very similar play here, but slightly. Actually, I like the Syracuse play a little bit more than this one, but I'm gonna take the points with Houston here, and I actually have a question for you at the end of this pick. But definitely shop around for this line because I do see it juiced in some places, and you can get it at a fair price in different spots. So shop around here. Yeah, you can definitely make a case for SMU at home, but again, I just think Houston just keeps it competitive here, and they're coming in hot. So I think they stay hot and at least cover the spread for us. So we're getting 3.5 points here. So it comes down to a field goal. We're good, and yeah, I like this then. As again, just make sure you shop around. My question for you was, if you're on the book that only has it at -114, would you take that or not? Because I know you don't buy points. So do you pay for a little bit of extra juice if that's your only choice, or do you just completely pass on it?
-114 is not unplayable for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, you could definitely find it better than that, though. I'm just saying if that was your only option.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, definitely like that play quite a bit.
Sean Murphy.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 2 unders here today. The first one's going to be Liberty, Arkansas. Liberty comes into this game off 5 straight wins. I don't think they have any interest in getting into into a shootout here with the Razorbacks team that scored 93 points in the last 2 games. You mentioned Liberty's used to playing these kind of bigger schools in the SEC. I don't think they're intimidated here with this matchup. They've got one of the best run defenses in the country. We know Arkansas wants to run the football. Liberty wants to do the same thing. So I think we see the clock on the move here. This one stays under the total. And I'll also go with the under in the Arizona-Utah game. So a bit of a tricky situation here with Utah because Kyle Whittingham has been kind of not very forthcoming with the injuries with the Utes here this week. So we don't know for sure if Cam Rising is going to be playing. We don't know if the running back's going to be in there. So it's a bit of a tough situation. But Utah's been, it's been strange. Their defense has either been kind of lights out or they've got, there was a 2-game stretch there where UCLA and USC kind of lit them up. But they got right last week. I think they come back with another good defensive performance here against Arizona. So we've been winning with these Arizona overs, but I'm going to go the other way tonight and back the under in that one. So as I mentioned, I got 6 plays on the go here today. I've been stuck in that second spot on the leaderboard in college football, so I'm going to make a move up to top spot, hopefully today with 6 plays off the 3-0 sweep last night. I've got 2 NBA plays, 1 NHL, and a play on the World Series. So busy Saturday.
Rod.
And for me, I'm going to touch on that Liberty game. I'm going to go with the side of this one, just as Sean said. Both teams want to run the ball, and I think Liberty's defense is going to slow up the Arkansas Razorbacks running game. And I'm going to take Liberty plus the points in that one. Because I think they keep it close with the Hogs. You look at Liberty against the good teams; they are 4-0 their last 4 versus teams with winning records. And you look at the other way; they're also 15-5 ATS after following a straight up win. They're also, you look at the Hogs, and the Hogs covering the spread, they haven't been so good after scoring 40 points. They're 3-12-2 ATS their last 17 after scoring 40 plus points in the previous game. And on the other teams, and 1-4 the last 5 versus teams are the Hogs. I think the Hogs get the win, but Liberty keeps it closer. Take Liberty plus the points in that one. And for me, over at Big Dogs Premium today, I've got a couple 3-packs. I've got a 3-pack in the early college football, 3-pack in the night college football. I've got a 3-pack on the ice. I've got a bunch of big games singled. So your best bet is to grab a 3-day pass, and you'll get all college football, all the hockey today. You'll get all the NFL tomorrow, and you'll get college basketball loaded card on Monday. That'll be included as well as 3-day. That's the best way. We're doing Pink Dogs Premium. Scoop it up. Had a nice winning day Saturday. Looking to keep it rolling this week as well. So jump aboard. Let's make some money.
There you go.
Take a look at the Mean Green. Line's currently -22 against the Panthers. Last week, North Texas upset Western Kentucky 40-13 as a 10-point road dog. But home favorites, when they're priced at -6 or more points, when they come off those upset wins as underdogs of more than 8, they've gone 118 and 72 in conference games. I'll lay the 22 with North Texas. And then in a Pac-12 game, I'll take the UCLA Bruins on the road against Arizona State. Bruins 10-0 ATS their last 10 versus losing teams. I'll take UCLA.
What are you selling today?
Too much.
All right.
I've got 20 plays, so too much. Better people should just join for a month or a year or a week. It's better value than buying all 20.
A fifth of 100 picks for Mal McMorty.
And now if you team me up or team me up with Chris, then you'll get like 40 plays today.
40 plays. All right, I'm going to go with Clemson here against Notre Dame. I said it at the beginning of the show, and I think this is the easiest play on the board. If they're giving away money, you might as well just go over there and pick it up right off the floor. This is a Notre Dame team where home field advantage, it has meant absolutely zero this season. There's no advantage to getting your ass kicked by Marshall and Stanford in South Bend, Indiana. And I'll tell you what, Dabo Swinney has come out this week and he has said their entire season has been about this month. This is championship month. He said, I could quote him exactly if I had time to pull it up, but he has basically said that the entire season has pointed to it, and he knows that this is his big game. He knows this is his national championship game. He knows this is, everything. This is the one that's on national TV. That's, the ABC has Miami, Florida State. There's Alabama, LSU on the other channel. But this is really one of the big highlight games of the night. And this is his chance to shut everybody up and say, oh, yeah, when it comes to the big games, you don't want to play against me because I always win them, and I win them big. And that's what he's done throughout his coaching career. He has a roster full of all high school All-Americans, top 5 recruiting class in the nation, 8 years in a row, and he is going to show it today. He's got a quarterback that's got a chip on his shoulder who's been nothing but bad mouth all season. All he's done is win football games. He's better than any running back that Notre Dame has on their entire team when it comes to running the football. We look at Notre Dame's passing offense, it's pathetic. And when we look at Clemson's pass defense, it's up there, as far as yards against, but that's because they're generally playing against teams that have to take chunk shots at them because they're just dominating them. And when they try and run the ball on Clemson, it is a physical pounding. Notre Dame had success on the ground last week against Syracuse. Syracuse has a 225-pound nose tackle. That is the facts. And Clemson, a little bit different story in this game. We heard Dino Babers say last week, man, the week after playing Clemson, every single year we lose. He's like, it just feels like we played 2 games after we played Clemson. Look for Dabo Swinney to make a statement here. This guy knows how to make statements. He knows how to make playoffs. He knows how to win national championships. 2 wins in national championship games against Nick Saban. I think he can beat Marcus Freeman today. The other game, go Canes, baby. Money line against Florida State. Game where you could throw the record book out the window. We know traditionally this Miami-Florida State rivalry, when Florida State wins, it's usually a blowout. When Miami wins, it's normally a nail-biter close game. There's been some close wins for Florida State recently, but I like the Canes money line here. Mario Cristobal, a former Cane player, he knows how important this game is. So look for the Canes to get it done on the money line. Go Canes! All right.
Money line, baby.
Money line. Canes.
Michigan.
Canes. Canes.
University of
Let's
Money
go
Line.
Islanders. All right.
I love my Canes. Not our year, but maybe next year. Or the
Next year's our year. We're coming.
Next year's always our year. We've had some pretty good years. I'll tell you that much.
Looking like a true Leaf fan. Next year's our year.
Yeah, well, it's at least we can say we've had a lot of next years at least. All these. I mean, Miami's won 5 times as many national championships as Michigan has in the last 50 years, right? But you wouldn't think so. Or they've won 5 times as many, or 3 times more than Ohio State, right? More than Ohio State and Michigan combined. More than Texas. More than all those schools. We'll be fine. Suck this year. I like Michigan's chances of beat. If we played Michigan this year, they'd wipe the floor with us. Next year.
Is Van Dyke back from Miami?
I don't think so.
No.
Garcia's good.
I thought Van Dyke is back.
I thought he was back too.
It might be that if he's back, they don't want him back. It's not a matter of eligibility.
I think Garcia is equally as good, if not better. So
I thought I read that he was back, but
Garcia was the higher recruited guy. Garcia was a higher rated player coming in than Van Dyke. So I don't know. It's probable saying upper body.
Okay.
They got some heavy duty quarterbacks coming in this recruiting class, though. I don't expect these guys to be a factor. Anyways, go to the NBA, and can you believe college basketball starts on Monday? NBA and crazy night last night of games. It was either blowout or nail biter. A little bit of both. A lot of blowouts, a lot of nail biters, but got the Magic and the Kings. We've got the Hornets and the Nets, the Hawks and the Pelicans, and the Knicks and the Celtics. Should we just do all of them, or you want to go 4 and 4? Let's do all of them. Bucks, Thunder, Timberwolves, Rockets, Denver, San Antonio, and Phoenix, Portland, the rematch. Oh, man. Phoenix reeled them in. I thought they were going to get that one, at least get the win, but didn't even get that. Ron, what do you think of these? You think of Magic. It seems like to me the Magic, like a lot of love for this team, but they're not quite. It's kind of the way the Mavericks were a few years ago, like where they were on the verge of becoming like a good team, and people kind of got ahead of themselves because they had a couple players that people really liked.
Yeah, I think that's the case.
And that's the case, I think, here with Orlando.
Yeah. Paolo Banchero.
Yeah, and people like him like they liked Luka when he was, and it was kind of like the team was, you knew they were going to be good, but they weren't good yet, and it was kind of like a lot of value on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of young, talented players, but they'll get there. It's still a rebuild, but I definitely like the outlook for the franchise.
Yeah, the direction is great.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But as far as what I like in the NBA for today, I was actually on the Suns last night as a premium laying the points, and
guilty as charged.
Yeah, guilty as charged. It was a tough one to watch, but when I'm looking at back-to-back games, and there's been a lot of them already to start the season, home and homes and just back-to-backs, but when an underdog pulls off the outright upset or just the cover in general, I'm looking towards if they're going to be playing again the next day, I'm looking if there's any outliers or just anomalies in the statistics in the game. And when you look at the numbers, I mean, both teams shot about 40 in the low 40s in 3-point percentage, 43.5 for Portland, 41.2 for Phoenix. The rebounding was pretty even. The turnovers were pretty even. Portland actually had one more turnover on their side. The free throw shooting, the Suns actually made 95%, while Portland was only 80%. So arguably, to me, I wouldn't be even shocked to see Portland at least cover this 10-point spread. If not, have a shot to win it outright again. To me, there was nothing. It's one thing if Portland shoots crazy 45% from three and the Suns go 20%, and it's just kind of a unfortunate, just outlier game. But to me, Portland just played really good basketball, even without Lillard and Simons. I'm just going to take the points here with Portland, and I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on the money line as well.
Yeah, the only game I kind of liked on the entire card was Houston plus the points against Minnesota. Minnesota is still licking their wounds after taking on the Bucks last night, and there still just looks like to me there's some chemistry issues for Minnesota they still have to work out, and we'll have to see if they get Rudy Gobert and Anthony Edwards back for this one. Missed the last game with an illness, I believe, but
how many free throws did Giannis miss in a row? That I saw the stat was on the board. It was like he had missed 13 or 14 in a row.
I think it was something like that. Yeah.
It was like Shaq type numbers.
Yeah,
he was 4 of like 20 something from the line, but he was like, I think he had missed at one point 13 or 14 in a row. But anyways,
yeah, no, I couldn't tell you.
I'll find out.
But no, I like the heart that Houston's shown on the road. 0-6 on the road, but 3-3 against the number. And I think Houston keeps this one 5-point game or less, and potentially could pull this one off with the outright win here. So I'm going to take Houston plus the points.
Giannis was 10 of 20 from the line, so he couldn't have missed that many in a row. All right. He missed a ton, though. I'll tell you that much.
Well, me personally, I fall in that category that you and Ron were talking about. I was really high on the Magic coming into this season. I've been beat a few times this season messing with the Magic. I'm going to fade my Magic here tonight. I do like Paolo a lot, man. He's 19, sees the floor really well. Taller guard type player. But here tonight, I just think the Kings, they're due for a win, and I think they get a cover. De'Aaron Fox is playing on another level right now. He's currently listed as day-to-day. I think he goes today. A lot of injuries for this Orlando team. Orlando coming off the huge win against Golden State. I look to fade them here today. We were on them in that win against Golden State. I look to fade them here today. Can I go one more?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, and the next one, I'm going to go with Phoenix. I know there was a good game last night. I thought they was going to come back and get them as well. But I'm going to stick to it. Phoenix is still – they were the number 1 seed last year in the West. A really good team. They play good basketball at home. I'm not going to overreact. I think they come back here tonight and they take care of this Blazers team. When I look at the injury report, I think everybody's still out. Yeah, it looks like Dame's still out. Gary Payton's still out. I think they come back here tonight and they smash them. They get some get back from yesterday. So I would lay the points with Phoenix in this one.
I agree with you. I think it's going to be like that second game of the Detroit Bucks back-to-back. Jay, I know you're a big Mavericks fan. got jimmered last night.
I didn't want to bring it up, man. I didn't want to bring it up.
I was on the right side of the jimmer on that one, but I know that the Mavs got jimmered there. Up by 4, the line 3.5, 4. Zeros on the clock, and the ball floats in from beyond the arc.
Crazy, man. It was a tough one. That was my bet of the day yesterday as well. So it happens. That's the NBA for you. And hey, college basketball
Monday.
is right around the corner. So it's gonna be way worse. I might as well buckle up and be ready, man.
We should count how many of those happen we should have a count. We should put a meter up for a college basketball segment. That's what we'll do for a college basketball segment. We'll create a meter on how many games were decided, the point spread, within the last 3 seconds of the game, in college hoops. And we'll just have a meter saying this is how many games this season came down to that. That would be fun to have because it just seems to happen so often. Yeah. But that was crazy because the line in that thing was 3.5, 4. It was at 4.
And they were up pretty like 9-10 for majority of the game, like especially
they reeled them in. The Raptors reeled them in, and then the Mavs kind of pulled away. It was sort of like the Thunder Nuggets game the other night. It was sort of like that one, and then at the end of the game they had it, and then Luka missed a free throw there too. Yeah. Hurt them, but anyways, Al Niños, any hoops for you?
Yeah. This is I think I could. I don't know about laying those 11 points. I mean, I'm not taking the points with the Blazers either. I would if I had to. I think all those big dogs.
Sounds like you're Ruffaloing the game, but taking the long way to get there.
No. I'm getting to a pick I really like. So
there is a point.
Minute. Just give me a minute, please. Yeah, I think my favorite though might be the Rockets out of those bigger dogs. My favorite play though is one I passed up on as a premium. I was thinking, do I want to go money line or -1.5, and really kicking myself out. Then by the time I made my mind up on that, it was -2 already. It's -3.5 now. Jay already talked about it. I think the Kings is a great pick today. I think they should win this one. The Magic. We already saw last year they weren't the same team when Johnson Isaac was on the bench, and now they just got he's still out. They got some other guys that are out. A lot of guards are sitting out, and just don't see them getting much going here. And I do agree. I think De'Aaron Fox will be back for this one, so I do like the Kings quite a bit today.
Sean,
I'll go with the under in Minnesota. I think that total is just way too high. Both teams are completely out of sorts offensively right now. The Rockets, 6 of the last 7 games, they've been held under 40 field goals. Minnesota, same kind of thing, 4 straight games, 41 or less field goals made. Neither team's playing anywhere near the pace we'd need to see for this one to get into the 230s. Both teams have actually, surprisingly, like Houston came into the season, I thought they'd be just absolutely horrible defensively. They've actually been able to slow their opponents down a little bit over the last couple of weeks. I think we see that again tonight with them in a big underdog role. With T-Wolves off 4 straight unders, Houston off back-to-back unders. I think that continues tonight. I think this one stays way under the total.
Rod?
And I like the Magic here in the spot. I think that line would be a little bit bigger if Fox was actually playing tonight. I think it'd be a 6-point line. I don't think Fox is going to play in this one. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's going to play. I think that line would be a touch higher than what it's sitting at right now. So I'll take the Magic, who have 5-0 ATS their last 5 at home. I think they even got the better defense. I think they slow down the Kings in this one and keep it close. They got a chance to win this outright, I think, too, as well. So solid at home. I'll take the Magic in that one. And I'm going to go right back to the well with Portland and the Suns under the total. Portland now 7-0 on the road to the under. And I think the same thing as what we got last night. We just sneak out of the total in this one. Both teams play solid defense, and I think they do it again. I like the under. Portland Suns.
Al, your Spurs bruised me last night.
Yeah,
I thought we were in the money the whole game. It was like,
they bruised me too.
I just hope they lose the next 10 in a row and fall to 5-15 straight up.
It's like either lose or don't, but it's like, man, God.
They're hard to watch.
You want to get in them sweepstakes.
I guess everyone's talking about this one game. I guess I'll talk about it too. This will actually probably be a premium play. This will be my 21st premium play for today. I'll go loaded in a few minutes. It's going to be on Sacramento against Orlando. Teams that upset defending, NBA titleists, if they were a 9-point or greater underdog in that upset win, and then they're at home their next game, they're 13, 36, and 2 ATS going back to 1990. I've got lots of systems that go against the Magic here. The point spread's kind of telling you that De'Aaron Fox will play, so assuming he does, it's a good play on Sacramento. I'll take the Kings.
I got a couple that I like. I like the Thunder Buddies against the Bucks. I think that the Bucks, I've been on the Bucks a ton this season, including last night. But I just think that the Thunder coming off of that. I mean, the game once again they reeled in the Nuggets the other night and were unable to close the deal for the cover. But I just think the Bucks on the back-to-back here probably see something closer to what we saw against the Pistons in Game 1 of their home, if they're the 2-game set against the Pistons. I like Thunder Buddies. I think that they play a little bit better this one. I also like the over in Denver against San Antonio. San Antonio has been mostly an offensive team. Their defense has been pretty thin. And Denver, they like to score points in bunches too. Just seems that, for a team that's only been scoring, 106, 113, and then they scored 100 the game before that, 107, and you have a 235.5 total in this thing. What are the books protecting themselves against, for a team that scores 100 points a game in their last 3? I think that this time we see the Spurs go back to this 129, 122, 137 point scoring, and the Nuggets as well, who have been scoring in the 110s, 120s. Just seems an odd total for teams that haven't been putting it up. Anyways, go to the NHL, to the ice. Finland, baby.
Get your loot fish, everybody. Line up, get your loot fish. Here's loot fish for you, loot fish for you.
Get some suck-ass game and throw it in Finland. Islanders visit the Red Wings. The Blue Jackets against the Avalanche in Finland. Get your loot fish here. JTS Jets against the Blackhawks. We play the Star Caps against Coyotes. Maple Leafs Bruins. Lightning Sabres. Senators Flyers. Penguins against Smoking Kraken. Got Canadians Vegas Canucks against the worst name in sports. Calgary against the Devils. The Shanghai Sharks against the Ducks. And Los Angeles Kings against Florida. Wow, it's a lot of games today. Ron, I'm surprised you don't have a Shanghai Sharks hat or something and a Jimmer jersey.
Yeah, Jimmer. I'll have to get one, but and this hockey card, I'm liking the Blue Jackets plus the 1.5 goals on the puck line. I thought they actually played pretty well yesterday afternoon. They didn't cover the number at the end, but it was a close game throughout most of the game. And in the third period, it was tied at one point, 3-3. But Colorado was just too much in the end. But, Merzlikins has been one of the worst goalies in the league this season. Now you have Jonas Korpisalo getting the start for Columbus today. I think he's a much better goaltender. And Francois on the other side for Colorado is worse than Alexander Georgiev. So I think, if this is going to be as close of a game as it was yesterday, the goaltending might make the difference, and getting those 1.5 goals, not a bad idea. So give me the Blue Jackets plus 1.5, and let's go Islanders.
Yeah, and in the game of the day sponsored by Fiverr, I'm going to take the Ducks plus the 130. I just think that this is nothing has changed for me from the last meeting. We saw a couple days ago where the Ducks beat the Sharks in overtime to suggest that the Sharks should be laying anything close to what they're laying at home in this one. So I go with the Ducks in that one, and the other one I'll touch on quickly. I like the Kraken, the big plus money against the Penguins. Penguins are a good team, but I'm not laying this kind of juice with a team because they're due. They've lost 6 in a row. And the Kraken have actually played semi-capably on the road in recent games, so I'll lean towards the Kraken plus money.
Semi-capably. Jay Briggs, anything here for you?
Yeah, I got a few. I'm going to agree with Chris. I like the Ducks. Y'all know I like the Ducks in hockey. I think they get another upset win. We had them last week on the show as huge underdogs. I like them here again as underdogs. Like Chris said, they beat the Sharks earlier in the week. I think they can do it here. And then I'm gonna take my Stars or my star, like Mitch like to say, against Edmonton.
Well, it's just one star, man. That's all they're showing is one. So it's they used to be stars. They were the North Stars. Then they became the Star. But there's only showing one star as far as I can see.
Yeah, I think it should be a good game here today. I'm gonna. I don't watch a lot of hockey games. This one might make some TV for a little bit. One of the monitors. Yeah, give me a shot at the Stars here today on the money line.
We're tough. I'm telling you. We're looking good this year.
Going against you and Rod.
Well, Rod's on the Blues.
Oh, you kicked him off the leg, and
Rod's been traded for a hat to be named later to those El Niños.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that joke when you realize Captain America only has one star, so he's actually Captain Puerto Rico. Anyway, yeah, that was pretty cool. But anyway, game I like quite a bit. I think there's some money coming on the Sabres, I guess, too. They've been playing good hockey, but in a bad spot here, I think. Lightning rest and home ice advantage. Oh, okay, that's why the line went down. Elliott is confirmed in goal, so no Vasilevsky tonight for the Lightning. I still think it's a good spot for Tampa, though, and I'll take a -1 here. As far as value, though, I kind of agree with Jay. There's some value on the Stars today, and yeah, probably my two favorite plays, but I like the Lightning probably a bit more there.
Sean?
I'll go Sharks tonight. Quick rematch. They lost 6-5 in a shootout to the Ducks on Tuesday. Ducks aren't a good team. They've given up 29 goals in their last 6 games. Sharks aren't very good either. They've lost 3 in a row, but I think they get a quick revenge here on the Ducks.
Rod?
And for me, it is I like the over there in Finland where they're giving up a Lutefish. This Korpisalo is going to make his first start. He's not good. He may be a native of Finland. That's about what he is. He's 7. His last time he played, he was 7-11. With a 4 goals against average and coming off a hip surgery. Whoo, that could get ugly. Frank Kuza's not good in net for Colorado either, so he's giving up 3 goals a game easy. So take the over in that one. Don't sweat aside in that one. Very easy to go with that. And then I'm going to go against the Leafs here. How can you not? This Boston team's rolling right along, and this is going to be a great game. Love to be at that one, watching Boston and Toronto. That's definitely going to be a hard-hitting battle in that one. But I got to go with the Beats in that one. Also, you look, Carter Hart's getting a start, so give me the Flyers. He's perfect on the season. Talbot's going to get his first start of the season for Ottawa in that one. He came in as a relief last time out, made 13 stops, shut down Vegas in the second half of that game. So going to be a good goalie battle in that one, but the Flyers win it. Carter Hart's better. And I get to use my overpaid bums. Hey, the Pittsburgh Penguins losing how many in a row now? Overpaid bums. We're going to take the Kraken on the road in that one. They've been making wins and getting wins and beating up teams, and take the Kraken. They beat in that one. And I'm going to take the Ducks. Don't step on the Duck. Wah, wah. Sharks are awful. They can barely score a goal. Their offense has been horrible. They got some goals against the Ducks. Correct. It was a 6-5 shootout. Did you see it again? Probably, but I'll stick with the Ducks at the plus money. I can't lay any juice with the Sharks.
Big Al?
I'll fade the Dallas Stars off those back-to-back blowout wins against the Kings in Arizona. They won those 2 games by 5-2 and 7-2 scores. Dallas now 5-18 off back-to-back blowout wins by 3 or more goals. So, yeah, I'll go against the Dallas Stars. I'll take Edmonton.
I'm going to take the Devils here against Calgary. I agree with Johnny Gaudreau. I'm so over these guys. It's like they just bore the crap out of me. I can't even watch them. I'm going to take the Devils are 8-3, 4-1 on the road, and we're getting plus 142 odds against a team that nobody likes. They don't even like themselves. I don't know. It's 8-2 in their last 10 against. Tell me. Johnny Gaudreau said, I don't even want to be associated with it anymore. I'd rather go to Columbus, Ohio than stay here. That should tell you all you need to know. All right, parlay time. Or Breeders' Cup picks. Either or both. Ron, you're up.
Parlay. I haven't really prepared anything, but I'm just going to go with the Red Wings on the money line. I do think the Islanders take a loss today. You're getting plus money. So Red Wings money line, and I'll parlay them up with Utah State against the spread.
Yeah, I'm just going to hammer a 2-teamer here. I'm going to go with TCU laying the points and Clemson laying the points.
Jay Briggs.
Let's go to the NBA. I'm gonna go Sacramento laying the points. I'm gonna go Hawks on the money line. Y'all know I love the Hawks at home. And one more Suns minus the points. 3-teamer for y'all NBA.
Alnias.
Going Syracuse, Kings, Lightning. You can go Lightning -1 if you want.
Sean.
Hockey Kings? No, I'm just playing.
I'll go college football. I'll go Army plus the points, Navy plus the points.
For me, I got a 2-teamer in college football. We're going to go Liberty plus the points, Syracuse plus the points. And then in the NHL, we're going to go with 3-teamer. We're going to take Boston, Flyers, Kraken, parlay those 3 up. And then in the Breeders' Cup, I like Flightline. I'm going to go with the favorite. That horse has been lights out, the best out of this bunch. And I think he runs away with it in this one again. So I'm going to go Flightline. I'm going to go with Epicenter come second. So I'm going to go Flightline first, Epicenter second in the Breeders' Cup.
Way to stick your neck out there with a 3 to 5 shot. Al, big Al.
It'll probably be 1 to 5 when it.
It's the best horse.
Hey, there's not.
Probably.
Nothing wrong with taking low hanging fruit. No argument from me. But I'll look at different races. I'll look at the Filly and Mare Sprint. The 13 horse Echo Zulu is 6 to 1 on the morning line. I'll take Echo Zulu to win in place. In the Distaff, Clairiere is 4 to 1. I'll take Clairiere to win in place. Equal amounts on both. I'm not selling anything on the Breeders' Cup this year, but I'd go with those. As far as the parlay, Edmonton Oilers and Sacramento Kings.
Did we do the baseball game?
Oh, yeah, we didn't do the baseball game. Ron, what do you think of the baseball game?
I've got a premium on the game. But
What
as
about
far
the
as the
total?
total, yeah, I'll take a total. I'm actually liking the over in this one. I think I do think I don't want to give anything away, but I mean, watch the rundown. I give out the side on the rundown. Give me the Astros. It's my premium play. Whatever. I'm not even selling it, so who cares? I like the Astros. Good night.
Twist that arm.
Chris.
What he said. I'm taking the Astros too. I just Zach Wheeler didn't look good. Zach Wheeler didn't look good in his last start. And I know this is where the big time players make their big time plays, but I think it's Houston. They've got Phillies right where they want them. I'm gonna take the Astros in this one.
So Ron, on our premium show, or on our regular show, Chris, Rod, and I all picked the same person for series MVP. That was Jeremy Pena. Does he have a chance?
I don't know. It's kind of weird. The Astros just all have like a bunch of contributors.
Right. It's kind of even. It's kind of level. But if he has, it's kind of whoever has the big game to close it out, right?
Yeah.
He had a big homer to swing the momentum. So
I don't know. If Fromber has a great start tonight, I wouldn't be shocked to see him get it. Me
personally, I'm beating that same tune as the other two guys. Give me the Astros tonight.
Shocker.
In other breaking news, the sky is blue.
Yeah, give me the Stros tonight. That catch in the ninth the other day. I ain't been that excited about a baseball play in I don't know how long, man. He robbed him on the wall. That was a hell of a catch. It would have turned the game. And I think that was a championship saving play right there. I think the Astros win it tonight, and everybody Mattress Matt gets his $75 million, even though it's a hedge bet. But hey, he gets it.
El Niños.
Yeah, I believe they use songs on repeat as a form of torture, so I'm going to change it up and look at the total here. And yeah, I do agree with Ron, though. I think he did say he liked the over. I think we see some runs tonight. So like the over 7 runs.
Sean.
I'll go the other way. I like the under in this one. Bullpens have been lights out pretty much other than that first game, that first high-scoring game. I've got confidence in Wheeler to bounce back here after 2 bad starts against the Astros. Valdez has been great. I just think it's a 3-2 game. Go with the under.
Rod.
Yeah, I like the under first 5 here. I think nice pitcher deal with Framber and Wheeler. I think Wheeler bounces back after his rough start, and I think we get an under first 5 in this one.
Al.
I've got my baseball playoffs game of the year on the side, so nothing to talk about here. So I've just got a premium play.
All right. I think this is going to be an under. I'm with you guys on this. I think this is one of those games that could go on all frickin' night. But I think in the end of the day, the Astros come up with the big hit. It's been an under series, but surprisingly, because we've seen so many home runs. But really, the series has been under. All the last 3 games have all gone under. Framber is one of our favorite guys on the morning show. We gotta go for him. Here's a guy that really overcame adversity.
Sweaty already.
He was sweating. This guy's sweating when he gets off the bus. It's like no sticky stuff for Framber. Anyways, where were we on our parlays? We're at Al Ninos.
I think we gave them all out.
Yeah.
I think we're on you, actually.
Oh, all right. We're on my parlay? Okay. I'll take Penn State. I will take West Virginia. And I like we'll throw it with Clemson. On the extended line, -9.5. This is Mitch. Thanks for joining us. Make it a winning day. We appreciate each and every one of you.